Welcome to another special edition of our late night live show here.
Yes.
We want to congratulate the Kansas Jayhawks in joining us in the Mickey Mouse Club.
Welcome, welcome. Another blue blood joins the group.
The
Yes.
Mickey Mouse Club
Yes.
is filling up quickly.
Yes.
The defending, well, not the defending, but our 2020 NCAA
This is how
tournament.
Britney Spears and Gosling and Justin Timberlake, as we look around the Mickey Mouse Club, it's a lot of familiar faces. You see your Dukes, you see your Kentuckys, you see your Carolinas, you see your
I was going to
Kansases.
say, the 2020 NCAA tournament, or the 2020 national champions, they did not win the NCAA tournament, but Kansas was one of the teams that we decided.
Yes, Dotson had it on in his jacket when he got drafted.
We said,
2020
take
national
your national.
champs.
So, you know, if you subscribe to that theory, the defending national champions are falling right in
Down
front of our
30
very
right
eyes.
now, yes.
Down 30 with 6 minutes left. We're going to keep an eye on that, and by that I mean we're probably not going to mention that game the rest of the night. No
it's over.
disrespect to USC people. Is this the pinnacle of USC baskbasketball? That you
Yeah,
remember?
Cheryl Miller was our last pinnacle point, and you know, she was one of the greatest basketball players the world will ever see. And then from then on, we had the Swaggy P 2007 Kevin Durant
01 and
upset.
07, I think, are their two Sweet
Yes.
16 appearances.
Yes.
Did they go to the Elite 8 in 01? I think they might have, if I remember right.
That sounds right.
But 07, yeah, they beat Kevin Durant. People forget that. Maybe that was, but I don't know, dude. Being up 30 on Kansas, being up 30 on Kansas. Now you got to play Oregon in the Sweet 16. Who the one time you played this year? Remember this, Tate. People do remember this because you've listened to the show. You know we do a Pac-12 update. And unlike all those other shows out there that
Never
suddenly,
talk about the Pac-12.
all of a sudden you
Yes.
see people, everyone saying, "Oh, we're
We should
Pac-12 people." Yeah, prove it.
Big Wave Billy's the only
Yeah.
one. Leave him. Yeah, he's out. Yeah, he's doing his own
But if
thing.
you remember in the Pac-12 update, I mentioned, because I used the Michigan-Illinois situation as a jumping-off point. I said that Michigan and Illinois they had a battle about who was the best team in the Big Ten, and I feel like Michigan maybe.
Michigan won. Yeah, the
Maybe
last
won,
Big Ten team standing. Your Michigan Wolverines without Isaiah Livers.
But at the time, Michigan and Illinois, the debate was that Illinois had won 2 more games in the Big Ten. And they'd beat Michigan in the one game they'd met. And in Illinois fans' minds, they said, we should be Big Ten champions because of that. Why does Michigan get to be regular season champions? And I use that example to say this also applied in the Pac-12 to Oregon and USC.
Yes.
But nobody cared because nobody cares about Pac-12 basketball until now because it's convenient. Where were you all season when we were talking about the Pac-12?
Yes.
Nowhere. They were nowhere. But USC and Oregon had a similar situation where Oregon was crowned Pac-12 champions. USC had won more games than them. And one of the games that they won, they beat the hell out of Oregon the one time they met. So we'll see what happens. I think whoever wins this should be the Pac-12 champion, right?
Yes, at the end of the
Sweet
day,
16?
that is what we're going to do on this program. We're going to figure out who the Pac-12 champion. And if you look back at our Pac-12 updates throughout the year, what is one constant we had? The UCLA, USC year, the LA year in the Pac-12, with one caveat.
The
which was
Lakers.
Oregon.
Yeah, that's true. The Lakers.
That was our triangle.
The Dodgers win.
Yeah.
Suddenly USC and UCLA are looking
Nick
hot.
Cronin. Look, I put Blame Mickey on my board, and you know a lot of people were saying Mickey Mouse Tournament, but it's Mick Cronin. That's who I'm talking about. Mick Cronin is now Mr. March.
How does it feel to wake up every morning and Mick Cronin is? I gotta say,
it feels pretty good.
The USC fans did point out to me that Mick Cronin has not ever beat USC. Is this true?
Yes, we were there.
I mean, we got to acknowledge that.
We were there last year when
Yeah.
USC hit the dagger.
We got to acknowledge that. I mean, USC, I want it to be Mick Cronin City, mostly because Andy Enfield's kind of boring, if we're being honest. Like, Andy Enfield doesn't have the charisma, doesn't have the sex appeal that Mick
But
Cronin
he has
has.
the story. You
Mick
know what
Cronin
I mean?
just oozes sex appeal. I look at that guy and I'm like, I can't resist.
Andy Enfield, he did the right thing, right? He always kept himself in the shadows. He always kept himself out of the front of the cameras. He knew what he was doing. We had the Bland situation that went down. That's behind us now.
I love how
It's a situation. You know what it is. It's a situation.
we are Mike from Jersey Shore because anytime there's like
Something happened,
and we're like too
fiasco
stupid
of
to like
sorts. Yeah.
suss it out.
I don't
We're
want to
just like,
dissect it. Just say it's a situation and move on. But regardless, USC. This is a highlight moment. Chris, who's directing the show right now, USC grad, celebrating his birthday.
Great point.
And a USC win.
Because we're gonna talk about that in a second. But first, I want to shout to everyone watching on YouTube or on Twitter or whatever. A couple things. Be sure to comment and whatever throughout the show. We'll throw some of them up there. But one thing we want is we want your highlight from the weekend. That's how we're going to end the shows. We're going to go through everyone's highlights from the first 4 days of the tournament. We're going to
give you the lowlights for us.
We're going to put a big bow on the first 4 days. We'll give you some of ours, but we want to hear from you. So start thinking, throw those out there. Our team will work on that. And speaking of our team, we got to point this out because it has been established that this show is cursed. And what we mean by that, because we're two guys that sit in front of the camera.
We're not Andy Infield. We are forward-facing guys.
We are in front of the camera and we live in L.A., so because of that, we're let's be honest.
We're more Mick Cronin.
We're narcissistic a little bit.
Yes.
That's how it goes. So to us, it's like our two schools lose in heartbreaking fashion. Mine to a 15 seed in overtime. Yours at the hands of Brad Davison.
Show the graphic.
So we said to ourselves, wow, this tournament is cursed. It's a Mickey Mouse tournament. Our show is cursed.
Yes.
Everything is cursed.
Yes.
What we have found since that moment that we declared our show cursed in the NCAA tournament, I'm looking at 4 people that work on our show right now. I'm going to go left to right. We have a USC alum,
yes,
a Syracuse alum,
yes,
a UCLA alum,
yes,
and an Alabama alum in this room with us.
Sounds like
they're
4
all
winners.
in the Sweet 16.
4 winners.
And they're all listening to you and I talk about how cursed we are.
And they're taking the juice.
Yeah, we're definitely cursed.
Yes.
Definitely cursed.
Keep saying we're going to lose. Yes. More.
I just wanted to point that out. So, it's disgusting. I hate it, and I enjoyed the show up until I learned that. Up until
you were flustered by this.
Well, we keep talking about a Mickey Mouse tournament, and then I look up and everyone in the room's clapping for some reason.
Yes.
And I'm like, what's going on? And then it was pointed out to me that everyone's teams keep winning, and I was annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our curse though, the curse of the show, which is that we also notice that every time someone comes on our show, every time we interview somebody, we blow it. We ruin it for him. Mike Boynton came on the show. We were excited about that. We're talking to him about how Cade says we're going on a Carmelo Anthony type 2003 run.
It's gone.
Oregon State says not so fast. We went through the whole list, right? And we said last night, beware Iowa fans because Luka Garza came on our show on Selection Sunday.
Called it.
Called it.
Yep, done.
We had Jason Preston on after they beat Virginia.
We called it.
Ohio fans.
Yes.
Sorry.
Congratulations, Creighton. We knew it. We saw it.
We had a kid. There's a kid from Abilene Christian who reached out. The kid that did the horns down.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The kid that did the horns down. We reached out to him. We were going to have him on the show. He basically, long story short, the coaching staff said that,
wait till we win.
Wait till we beat UCLA, then we'll allow.
We don't want to be cursed, is what they said.
They said, but we kind of cursed him because we tried to have him on, just like by trying to have him on.
By reaching out, we cursed.
Cursed. So. I don't know. There's weird juju about the show. I can't quite figure it out, but all the people behind the camera, they're happy. And
they're doing great.
And that disgusts me to my core.
Yes.
I just wanted to point that out. So,
congratulations.
What game should we start with? Should we start with? By the way, USC's up 32 now. This is
over. It's 80.
This is a bloodbath.
81-49. This is great for the Pac-12, and let's talk about the Pac-12 because that was the first game of the day. We had the Iowa Hawkeyes taking on the Oregon Ducks, and America looks at this game and they say, well, the National Player of the Year is on Iowa. I expect them to do well, but the National Player of the Year did all he could. Very similar. We had Adam Morrison on the program. Luka Garza after this game, I felt for him. He obviously was very upset, but he has 36 points in 36 minutes, an Iowa record in a tournament game. He played unbelievable, but the Oregon starting 5 was unstoppable.
Yeah.
The entire game, it felt like watching. Iowa was trying to figure out a lineup to stop the starting 5 for the Oregon Ducks, but there was no answer. And Oregon just basically, ran them off the floor. And, Iowa's out of the tournament. A sleeper for a lot of people.
Well, I mean, we were buying, by we, I mean me. I was sort of buying into Iowa's defense getting better. It did. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyeballs. Yeah. KenPomeroy.com backed me up on it.
And Kim Pom has also been right. You mean Loyola, right? We've seen that.
But he was wrong about all the Big Ten teams.
We've seen that.
He was wrong about all the Big Ten teams.
The Big Ten teams, I mean, the theory that we threw out there last night, I think I said it was a crumb of credence. I think it's a little bit of it's a mess. It's a plate. You know what I mean? Someone's already had their meal. There's more than a few crumbs here of credence because you've been in Indy for that long. You've already won a championship. I mean, there is a crumb to the idea that there's
got to be something.
There's something because Michigan is the only team standing, and in fact, everyone was doubting Michigan. You know what I mean? Because they lose livers, and there's all this conversation about they're the weakest 1 seed.
Are you trying to butter yourself up to Michigan fans?
No, not at all. I'm just trying to point out.
Who was doubting Michigan? I said they were going to blow out LSU today. I said that.
True.
I said there's literally nothing that could go wrong. Michigan fans said I jinxed them.
100%.
I said,
look. I forgot we pivoted.
Yeah,
right?
I told you. So. Michigan fans thought I was jinxing you. I wasn't. I said I know what I know. Michigan's good.
You look at this side right here.
And now there's no way Michigan can blow it against FSU.
Yeah, no way. 100%. That's a 100% win. But back to the Oregon-Iowa game, it was not great for Fran McCaffrey, for the whole Iowa brand of basketball.
I had talked myself
three
into,
guys with 0 points.
Starters,
three starters with 0 points.
I had talked myself into Iowa playing good enough defense. They never played, as Caitlin's pointing out. The Iowa has never really played defense before, or this season. I mean, last season too. But they played. The question wasn't can Iowa be an elite defensive team. It was can they be good enough defensively that their offense can then carry them. And I thought they had gotten to that point. The problem was this was a bad matchup, and not in like the shticky way. This was legitimately a bad matchup in the sense that Oregon plays similarly to Iowa. They score a ton of points. They're very versatile. Everyone who touches the floor can stretch the floor. Can pass. They're very skilled offensively. But the problem was they are also far more athletic than Iowa. And the trade-off, if you're going to this game, if you wanted to talk yourself into Iowa winning this game, you would say Luka Garza is going to be a monster. Oregon's going to have no answer for Luka Garza. And if Iowa can just slow down Oregon, maybe they'll have a chance. They could not slow down Oregon for anything.
56
Garza,
points in the
because Garza
first half.
did his
he had a very, very good
awesome.
game. And when you look at Oregon, I was just talking to you off air. I mean, Dan All being able to bring in transfers like a Figueroa who has 21 points in this game looked great. And, they had Dylan Ennis transfer in, from Villanova when they made their Final Four run. I mean, this is a recipe. We joked about John Rothstein saying Chris Duarte should be first-team All-American.
I mean,
but
come on, John.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but I will say Oregon showed, I think, to the world that the Pac-12 has players, right? That's always been kind of the knock. When we get to these Power 5 programs, you say, well, the Pac-12 just doesn't have the Jimmies and Joes to go up against the Big Ten or the ACC. And they've always had the players, but it hasn't really worked out in their favor. And this is honestly the first tournament I can remember where everything has fallen the way of the Pac-12.
I'm so excited for next.
What did Bill Walton do?
I'm so excited for next season that the Pac-12
West Coast basketball.
Everybody watching, remember this next year when the season starts.
Kansas is down 30 points right now to USC.
The Pac-12 is legit.
Wait, what?
It's always been legit.
Andy Enfield.
We've said it was legit. We definitely a lot of people were coming at our necks today. The haters, as I said, this is the Super Bowl for the haters. And
I figured out the pivot from the haters. The new word is the doubters.
The doubters said that the Pac-12 update was a joke. They said you guys, the only reason you've been talking about the Pac-12 all year is like it's a punchline to you. And I said not so fast. I said last year that was the case. Last year, the loser of our bet had to do the Pac-12 update because we were like, that's a joke.
Yes, we lost by 25 points
this
in the
year,
Dome.
Whoever won, which became UNC was supposed to play Ohio State. You guys backed out because you were scared.
No, you guys did
you guys dodged us.
No, you dodged. No, you dodged.
And then we played UCLA instead, and then UCLA became your team for that bet.
Yes.
And then we said whoever wins the game gets to do the Pac-12. And the reason we did that is because we believe in the Pac-12.
We changed.
Maybe I made some jokes along the way. Maybe I called a lot of teams fraud.
Yeah.
But I always believed in the Pac-12.
But the reason we really believe in the Pac-12 is because we believe Gonzaga winning the national championship, which is the whole point of the show. And there's a lot of people pointing out the narratives and the knocks. But at the end of the day, Gonzaga has been the favorite. Gonzaga has been in our only tier, and that's where they've stayed. Top of the Pac-10.
Gonzaga today down 8 in the first half against Oklahoma. If for those who haven't been following college basketball all season or haven't watched a lot of Gonzaga, maybe you started texting your friends and you're like, huh? If you have been watching Gonzaga, you're like, who cares? This is like they're going to win by 30. Like, this is what they do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much they're down. I will always trust them. They could be down, honestly. I'm trying to think of when I would panic if I was like a Gonzaga fan. Down like 15 with like 4 minutes, I'd be like, all right, now would be a good time to start playing, boys.
Yes.
But even then, I'd be like, they could probably pull this out. They'll find a way. They're so good, dude.
They're so good.
It's disgusting.
And there is when I talked about Michigan and I mentioned them having this sense of urgency, I feel like Gonzaga has that a little bit too, where they are taking everyone at their face value, which is to say, you're a tournament team. I respect you, and I'm gonna play up to my game, right? I'm not gonna, Texas. You see Abilene Christian. There's a chance maybe you overlook that and leads to a loss. We saw Abilene Christian today. I don't know how they beat Texas.
Yeah,
I still don't understand that. Mickey Mouse tournament, but I don't understand it, how it happened. And that to me is a little bit with Gonzaga. They are taking everyone very seriously. I think they're going to take – Creighton's going to be a tough game. That is not going to be an easy game. The best team they've played in quite some time. Oklahoma was the best team they've played in quite some time.
I hear you. I think this is a favorable matchup for Gonzaga. I think Oregon is not a great matchup.
Oregon is a tough matchup. That's like
Oregon
Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I mean, USC is the same thing. I mean, Evan Mobley is probably, I should say this, here you go. Evan Mobley will probably be the number 1 pick after this tournament.
Is this a scoop?
This is a potential scoop right here. I mean, people saw Kate Cunningham.
I spoke with the NBA today.
Yeah.
I had the NBA on the phone.
And the NBA said, Mickey Mouse tournament.
So excuse me, Mr. NBA, who are you taking number 1? And the NBA said, Evan Mobley.
Take the big, and he's been great. Isaiah Mobley, his brother, also been awesome in this game. So, shout out to them. We also brought that up. This is the first time since the Griffin brothers we've kind of had like an older brother have his younger, better, potential number 1 pick brother going to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. And the older brother's like, I'm cool with it. Like, we're winning. That's fun. Yeah.
I'll get mine too.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, Gonzaga, 25 straight games that they've won by 10 or more points. They've only had 1 game all season that was within 10. It was West Virginia when Jalen Suggs
5-point game.
Went to the back room, duct taped it up, came back out. It was fine.
Which is wild because a lot of people pick West Virginia as a potential team to knock out Gonzaga. That's how far we are from the reality of brackets right now. West Virginia is long gone.
Do you remember a time ever in your entire life when you on Selection Sunday you looked at the bracket and you forecasted like a matchup and you're like, I hope that happens, and then it actually happened? I mean, 05 Illinois, North Carolina.
That's probably the last
it.
time.
Like in the title game. Does it ever happen?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my God, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. It always sucks. But whatever. I'm happy with the matchups we got. These will be fun. Baylor Villanova is certainly interesting. Gonzaga Creighton. I think Creighton I feel like Creighton tries to do what Gonzaga does. They're just not as good at it. Whereas Oregon has like real athletes that Creighton does not have. Oregon has real versatility. Oregon plays real defense. I think Oregon is a bigger threat to Gonzaga than I think. Yeah, I'm not worried about Gonzaga.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Maybe Creighton. You play this video before your boys.
I'm gonna say I already see this on social media right now. Where they're like, "Remember this? Yeah, curse. Got him, got him again."
Paula says, "Please get Drew Timmy or Corey Kissberg on the pod. Would love to hear about their undefeated season. Hashtag not curse."
Well,
which a lot
lucky.
of people we put out the call because we were like, "Okay, America, we obviously every time someone comes on the show, they lose. So who would you like to see cursed? What would you like?" We got a lot of requests for Gonzaga because Gonzaga's undefeated.
Yep.
I don't care what you say. I will still believe until Gonzaga loses, the tournament hasn't quote unquote started. I still feel like all the chaos we've seen so far, all of this Mickey Mouse business, doesn't really matter because until I see Gonzaga lose, I'm not going to care about any of it in like the big picture. It's a fun distraction, but I still think we're going to hand Gonzaga a trophy in 2 weeks. So until they lose. It's just a fun distraction to me. So a lot of people feel the same, and they're like, we gotta get Gonzaga to lose. And I did not want to do this, so I just want to make that clear. You did not either. Our producer Louise, who we cracked the code,
Syracuse fan,
Syracuse alum,
Buddy Boeheim. She's on a high from the Boeheim family.
And we realize what she's up to.
She's trying to get Buddy Boeheim a title. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's what we want.
We want to make this perfectly clear before we say roll what we're about to roll because we did not want this to happen. We looked her in the eye and we said, "Please, Louise, do not do this." She said, "We're going to do this."
Believe me.
And
I said we were cursed.
I said the only way I can in good faith do this is if you book someone from Syracuse on the show.
Yes.
She said we tried. Syracuse turned us down,
They
and
did.
I said, "Wow, how convenient is that?"
Jim Boeheim hates the media.
So I want everyone in Spokane that's listening, please understand. The blood is not on our hands.
Yes.
It's our producer, Louise.
Yes.
She's a Syracuse fan.
And all the journalists like Mike Tirico, all the Syracuse journalists out there, you're welcome.
We understand
we're
what's
doing
happening.
our best as big J's ourselves.
With that being said, we talked to Corey Kissberg
I'm
earlier
sorry.
today.
I am sorry, America.
We talked to Corey
apologize.
Kissberg.
We apologize,
So,
Corey.
Here you go. Here's us talking to Corey Kissberg.
This is the real test.
All right, joining us now is Gonzaga All-American Corey Kissberg, fresh off a big win over Oklahoma to move Gonzaga onto the Sweet 16. I believe the 6th consecutive season for Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. Corey, obviously a lot of talk all season about how good you guys are. You're still undefeated. You have 4 basically All-American caliber players. You're still being one of them. Today it was kind of the Drew Timmy game. You had a great game yourself, 16 points, but Drew played especially well. So my question as big picture thing is, do you guys know going into which game, like who the guy's going to be? Not like one guy carries you every game, but it seems like every Gonzaga game, there's one of you 4 elevate. And it's
almost seems predetermined, Corey.
Yeah, okay, today's a Jalen Suggs game. This is a Corey Kissberg game. Do you guys know this going in, or does it just kind of happen over the course of a game?
I mean, you can kind of feel it out just watching film beforehand. I mean, other than the number 52 on Oklahoma, they didn't really guard much in the post. So you kind of knew if we gave it to Drew, he'd deliver. He has been doing that for us all year. And that's the great part of playing for this team is that any guy can get you on any given night. So whether it's Jalen or Drew or Joel, Andrew, like it's kind of just pick poison for the other team. Yeah. And that's kind of the way we operate.
And that's kind of Gonzaga basketball, Corey. We've seen over the years, you've gone from being a role player, per se, to now being a star, an All-American, and you made that transition. And so much so, at the start of the season, Titus and I are watching you guys, and you have the headband on, and you throw down like a monstrous dunk. And we give this look to each other, and we're like, oh, Corey Kissberg's here. He's here to play.
He's not the role guy that kind of stands over the side.
He's not just shooting threes over here. So how's that been like to show the world your full game, right? That this has been the first season where you can showcase it.
Yeah, it's like a 4-year process, man. It's a 4-year evolution. And KRG, we use a term called water the bamboo. Basically, what it refers to is that, bamboo is the way it grows is that it's just when you water it, it stays under the ground for months and months because it's growing those roots like nice and deep into the ground. And then, in a matter of 3 days, the bamboo shoots out of the ground and grows to, 10, 15, 20 feet tall. And that's kind of what it's been like for me is, over the past 3 years, I've been kind of watering the bamboo and my roots have been growing super deep. I've been learning how to play the game, playing the system, learn how to become a better basketball player. And then now this year, all that hard work is kind of coming to fruition and you're seeing results of that all year long.
A lot of the chatter about Gonzaga and how you guys have become so good is international recruiting. That's what I think you ask the average fan. Like
you guys are the FIBA team of college basketball.
But you're a local-ish kid. I know you're from the Seattle area. So I'm curious. Your perception of Gonzaga. Did you grow up a Gonzaga fan? Have you witnessed the arc of Gonzaga basketball? Just what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, I was a toddler when Mo was doing his thing. I think right then.
So old.
Yeah, and I mean, from being from the state of Washington, you know what's going on. But UW was actually kind of my first love as a basketball fan, and they had Isaiah Thomas, Brandon Roy, Ryan Appleby, a bunch of really good teams in a row. So when they started recruiting me when I was coming out of high school, it was kind of like, okay, cool. But finally, kind of when it got to the end of it, Coach Few called, and Coach Michelson was kind of my biggest recruiter as well. And I just wanted to be a part of the story over here. It's hard to deny the kind of culture, and it's hard to deny the vibe this program gives off, and it's something really, really special. And I'm glad I chose it, man. And look where we are now.
Mm-hmm. It does seem like one of those things, Corey, with your team. Obviously, you're undefeated. People in the media like Titus and I, you may get bored with your team, but you guys have characters. And I think my favorite character is headband Corey Kissberg. And he seems like a totally different personality than the Corey we're talking to right now. Can you just talk about the power of the headband and what that may do to you? Because it's something else. I mean, it's like you're going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I mean, I thank you guys for choosing headband Corey over handlebar mustache Drew.
That was our second
fan favorite. Yeah, I appreciate that, fan favorite. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's a new thing for me this year. My first couple years here, I was shaved super tight, hair flicked over. You couldn't really. I mean, it was super clean cut, and this is kind of the evolution of me too. Kind of relaxing and growing as a player, and kind of letting it all out on the court.
Is that like mandated by Coach Few? Because it seems to happen to a lot of guys. I mean, Karnowski starts growing out the beard.
Yep.
We saw Morrison had the mop top.
Yep.
Is it something that like by the time you leave Gonzaga, you have to kind of like evolve?
Coach Gay used to do this.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Coach didn't pin me in a corner and didn't tell me to grow my hair out. So it was kind of a personal thing, personal choice. But it's pretty funny how you look back and every single senior from Kelly to Mo to Drew and I, like it's just people grow their hair out. Just how it is.
You find a way. One of the more impressive things beyond you guys winning all your games you played this year, it's kind of how you go about it. How you have this feeling of, I mean, you're down 8 early this game. And, a lot of people who haven't maybe watched a lot of Gonzaga basketball are probably like texting their friends or like, keep an eye on this one. Tate and I are like, I'll check it. If there's 2 minutes left and they're down 8, maybe call me. given that you guys are undefeated, you're the favorites to win this thing. It's March Madness, kind of all of what's at stake. How do you stay so cool, calm, collected? This has been a theme all throughout the season. What do you think the secret is? I mean, is it the Zen master himself, Mark Few? Is it the chemistry you guys have? What is it that makes you guys just seem so just robotic out there, but in a beautiful way?
Yeah, it's a good point. Just the way we play just wears people down. I mean, we run in transition on makes and misses. We move the ball so well on offense and move our bodies too. We're hard to guard. And you kind of know that, as the game wears on, we're going to start clawing back into deficits, and we're going to start taking leads. Just by the way that we play, we stick to, who we are. We don't try to change things when stuff's going south. And, today was a great testament of that. We just needed to settle in a little bit. And, pretty soon that the shots started going through the net, and we started getting stops, and that lead for Oklahoma by 8 turned into Gonzaga by 12.
Yep.
How much are you paying attention to what else is going on in this tournament? That it's been a particularly wild tournament in terms of upsets, and some of the other favorites are going down. Is that something that you guys send? You let that seep into your discussions yourselves? Like, we gotta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, my TV's on all day long.
Yeah.
In between games, watching stuff, and I'm as big of a basketball fan as I am a player. And I love watching this tournament.
Who's your favorite player in the country that doesn't play for Gonzaga?
That's a good question.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah. No, I really like Jared Butler out of Baylor.
Yeah, I hate that. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that, Corey, because my last question for you was that you guys and Baylor have been the two favorites all season. You guys have certainly a lot can change between now and 2 weeks from now.
You guys did the whole undefeated thing together. Yeah,
there's a lot can change, but right now it looks like you guys are the two teams playing the best basketball. And one of the frustrating things for us media types is how much Mark Few and Scott Drew get along, and how there's no rivalry there whatsoever. So of course you and Jared Butler like each other, and of course it's what the hell are we supposed to do?
Are you guys going to end the championship game in theory in a draw and just a good game?
Are you just going to shake hands?
Both teams played hard.
Yeah, y'all are funny. Yeah, no, Coach Drew is hard to not like. You really get to know that guy. He's one of the best coaches in the country, and he's a great dude. So of course, Coach Few and him get along well.
Well, you're hard to not like as well, Corey. If we can say that, we appreciate it. We appreciate you saying "great question" every time we ask you. That makes us feel really good. Best of luck moving forward. Congrats on an awesome senior year. It sucks. By the way, I was going to ask you this. You finally get to your senior year and you kind of can't enjoy the spoils. Right now, you're supposed to go to the Sweet 16 and go back to campus and walk around and have people kissing your feet and all that kind of stuff. And that's been weird, right? Part of you is damn, I wish I could be the big man on campus, and now I'm the big man in my dorm room or whatever. I'm the big man in my hotel
in my room.
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir, man. That's been the story all year long.
Yeah.
And we'd be going back to Spokane right now and getting ready to hang out and party, but. It is what it is. Everybody's in the same boat we are.
You keep it rolling 2 more weeks. You can come back when all this is over and you can be the big man on campus the rest of your life. So do it that way. So, Corey,
looking forward to it.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, Corey.
There you have it. You're welcome, America.
Mm-hmm.
Louise yelled at us as we were rolling the interview. She said she wants to make.
Yes, she already put in the request.
She wants to make very clear.
It wasn't you on Twitter. We were trying to give you credit, but she already put in the request.
All of you in Spokane, all of you Gonzaga fans,
yes.
She already put the request in. It had nothing to do with.
It wasn't the trolls. It wasn't the haters. It wasn't the doubters.
She was not trying to jinx. We just wanted to hear from Corey Kissberg, but at the same time, if things go south. Blame her. So Gonzaga's 6th straight Sweet 16s.
Yes, that's the real
We need to
story.
point that out. We need to point out that this is the 4th program in NCAA history to go to 6 straight Sweet 16s. Can you name the 3 others off the top of your head if you had to guess?
No.
Well, UCLA would be
UCLA,
one.
obviously.
They've won 7,000 titles in a row. If you had to guess 2 others, are they blue bloods or are they not?
They're definitely blue bloods, right?
We'll
They have to be. I'm going to give Kansas one. No,
Wrong.
not Kansas. I don't know. You know this. So I'm going to look
Duke
stupid
and North
guessing.
Carolina.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So that's kind of.
I didn't want to say that because then if I
How far
said that, then
fallen?
everyone's like, "Oh my God, shut up." Look, North Carolina, Duke. This is the first time in America we have the Big Ten media who has one team One team coming at us.
Hold on a second. Can we point out that the Big 12, who was also supposed to be a power,
You're right.
like an
You're
awesome
right.
conference,
Let's
has one
deflect.
team?
Let's deflect.
Deflect, dude.
Big 12,
What about
what are
the
you
Big
doing?
12? Why is nobody talking about the Big 12?
Yeah,
as
also
one team?
Pac-12 update.
So yeah,
Doing
Gonzaga
great.
6 straight Sweet 16s. They are 3-2 in their last 5 Sweet 16 games. So that's to say, in the last 5 tournaments, they've gone to 3 Elite Eights, and yet we'll still fast forward to next year.
And people will be like, "Are you sure you can believe in
when
Gonzaga?"
Chet Holmgren and Walker Kessler are the front line of the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and people will be
When
like,
I have to watch the new iteration of Bill Walton and Lou Alcindor tear down college basketball,
and people will be asking, can we trust Gonzaga in March? And I'm going to say, folks, the answer might be yes. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. We need more data on it. What else happened? So UCLA gets a big win over Abilene Christian. We kind of talked about it a little bit. We went Titus. I know. I was gonna ask Kissberg about his hair, but you kind of did it with the headband. This is it had to have been a quarantine situation that he put out, right?
Yeah, he was like, I can't get a haircut. What am I gonna do?
For the record, for those who have asked, and far too many people have, the hair is. I got a haircut on March 4th. Right before the pandemic started, right before everything shut down. I was going to get a haircut like that Saturday after the NCAA tournament started. I was going to get a haircut that morning before the NCAA tournament games. Everything shut down, and you couldn't get haircuts, obviously. Everything was closed. And then I made a decision right then and there. I was like, I'm not going to get a haircut until the end of this. And I don't know what the end of this was. It originally was when we get back in studio, and then I kind of liked the flow. So I was like, all right, so when we crown a new national champion, and then now that's 2 weeks away.
Going. Yeah,
so I don't know. Maybe when I get the vaccine, I don't know.
This is how it happens.
I don't know.
Look at me. Soon enough, you'll be Kelly Olynyk, as we were just talking about. You look like a Gonzaga senior, super senior.
There you go. I think Kissberg did the same. He probably just didn't get it cut, and then he was like, "Screw it, let's roll."
I honestly think with my baby face, if I spent 4 years in Spokane, Washington, I would have a beard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think that's just what happens up there. I'm not sure what goes on, but something.
So the story of this tournament, obviously, is if it's not Oral Roberts, if it's not Loyola, and she who shall not be named.
Yes,
on this
Lady
show.
Jean.
There you go. You can't resist.
Lady Jean.
It's catnip to you.
Yeah, it's too easy. Throw it out. Say it again.
If it's not the must bust,
yes,
it is certainly the Pac-12. That is the story of the tournament. 4 teams, 1/4 of the teams into the Sweet 16 are Pac-12 teams. One of them is UCLA, a team that had to win 3 games to get into the Sweet 16. They had to beat Michigan State in the play-in game. Johnny Juzang tonight, 17 points. They run Abilene Christian off the floor.
Yeah,
they are rolling, dude. It's a real thing. UCLA without Chris Smith, who you said was going to be a first-team All-American early in the season.
Love Chris Smith.
He's
been
out.
great on the sidelines.
He's out. Their best players out, and still they find a way.
And they found a way because, like we said, or like I was talking about the last show, Mr. March is Mick Cronin. He put on the crown. He has ridden this entire wave to a great position where now he's taking on an Alabama team. You got nothing to lose. You know, it was a tough day for the Muckers, we should say. You know, Maryland was supposed
really
to muck it up.
Yeah, Maryland.
Bama bucked it up, and then they're getting bucked. You can't muck when you're getting bucked. And
Bama goes 16 for 33 from the 3-point line. That is the exact opposite of muck. That's
bad luck. That's what that is.
Yeah. Maryland was looking for like Bama to go about 2 for 19 from the 3-point line. They did not. They hit 16 threes.
So I'm hoping that UCLA
can
can muck it up, but maybe, who knows? This could be the last stand. The unfortunate part when you talk about the Pac-12 is that we have USC, who is so fascinating. Again, Evan Mobley could be the number 1 pick on their team. Has his brother as well. The whole Griffin story connection.
Tajidi
a lot of great. Yeah, we love them. And then we're playing Oregon. So we have a Pac-12 team that's going to get knocked out by a fellow Pac-12 team.
Fair.
So we're not getting a real test, really, of those 2 teams.
We're not. Also, Colorado lost to Florida State tonight. But, I did see a lot of this. A lot of the old Pac-12 heads were very quick to point out that Colorado's new. They pivoted from Pac-12 is undefeated to Pac-10 is undefeated.
They're like, we don't know Mountain Time.
We don't know
that. I do not deal with that.
We're only in
we're
Pacific
Pac-10.
time zone.
It's a Pac-10 tournament.
It's called the Pac-12, not the Mountain / Pac. See what I mean?
Shout out to Coach Hamilton. Speaking of that game, McKinley Wright, 13 assists in the first game, basically runs everything for Colorado, and they did a great job tonight stifling him, and that was the difference in the game.
If you remember, I mentioned that Colorado, when they played Georgetown, they hit 16 threes, right? They hit 16. Yeah, like Alabama did tonight.
Oh, that is a bad omen.
Yeah.
Wow. Just looking over.
They hit 16 threes. And Florida State, if you remember, was 0 for 9
yes.
from the 3-point line in their first-round game. And I said that's going to be an interesting to have those two teams meeting each other, what's going to happen? I guarantee if Colorado hits 16 more threes than Florida State does, they're going to win the game.
Tough night, yeah.
Did not happen. They both hit 6 threes. So if you were tracking that at home, that they met in the middle.
Great game from Florida State. I was impressed.
Florida State mucked it up for Colorado. I will say that. 36% field goal percentage for Colorado. They were lighting up Georgetown.
We almost had a Tony in the first
18 turnovers
half.
for
That's
Colorado.
How ugly
yeah,
it was.
yeah. It was very, very ugly. So Florida State moves on. What else is there to talk about? Alabama. I mean, we got to talk about the Michigan game. That was another game. In my mind, there were two good games today. Not a lot of close games, obviously. Almost no close games. This was the closest. Was probably just in terms of I haven't actually looked over all the final scores in terms of the one that I was locked in on the longest was Michigan LSU. Very high scoring game. Reminded me of the Oregon Iowa game, and that like neither team could seem to stop one another. And then ultimately,
Fun game to watch. Yeah.
Michigan got the stops they needed down the stretch. Eli Brooks went nuts. Shawnee Brown went nuts.
Shawnee Brown, 21 points.
Dude,
It was great to see.
Yeah.
I love Shawnee Brown.
Cam Thomas was LSU. I like watching LSU. I like the idea of LSU. I love the idea of like basically an AAU team. They are not well coached at all. Will Wade is a horrible coach.
Will Wade is your high school golf coach,
Yeah.
and he is the head coach of LSU.
Yeah,
and,
dude,
it's awesome.
He's a terrible coach. It's like they look like an AAU team. They don't play any defense, but they got guys that are super talented. They're fun to watch, is what I was getting to. Even though I was crapping all over LSU, I was going to get to a compliment.
I mean, Javonte Smart and Cam Thomas played 40 minutes tonight.
Dude,
What
they're so
Cam
good.
Thomas has 30, Javonte has 27.
Yeah.
I mean, I respected the fact that Will Wade was like, let's just keep these guys out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
They can't stop them, obviously.
Yeah.
That was fun. But otherwise, like you're saying, I mean, maybe give them a break and we have a real chance to win this game.
Yeah. Javonte Smart, 27 points. 9 boards,
Yep.
6 assists.
Javonte
He was
Smart,
unbelievable.
He was one of those guys when he came in. I mean, there was the whole scandal, around him.
The whole situation.
The situation, you're right.
Just say
But
situation.
regardless, he's a top flight recruit, a guy that I thought may be a one and done guy at one point, and then faded a little bit. Cam Thomas
Yeah.
kind of became the story, but today,
They were both awesome.
Yeah, they were
but
both
their,
great,
Their
yeah.
team's just like they don't play defense, and they're just kind of like an AAU team, for
And
better
you
or
do-
worse.
and by an AAU
sometimes it's
team-
better, but a lot of times it's worse.
you look up an AAU when you go to an AAU event. You look up and you're like, oh, that guy had 30 points. I didn't feel like he had 30 points. LSU sometimes is like that.
Shawnee Brown had 21 points on 9 field goal attempts, and I want to point this out because Shawnee Brown, the first round game, had 0 points against Texas Southern. So LSU fans, we started a support group for being traumatized by Shawnee Brown. I started it after the Ohio State game, so join us, LSU fans. Come into the support group of Shawnee Brown, just coming out of nowhere to rip your heart out. That's the water's warm. Come on in. Jump in. Also, LSU fans wanted me to point out that the refs were bad, but both ways. There were a lot of LSU
both
fans who were
ways.
like,
Both
it was
ways.
bad both ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad charge
I did
calls.
see a lot of people,
Yeah.
conference pride
Both
has been a
ways. Both ways.
conversation, throughout this entire time. A lot of people are pointing out the refs were trying to defend the Big Ten in this
Yeah.
game and then also trying to defend the ACC in the Florida State game. That's a bit of a stretch, but, we can always say the refs struggled both ways.
Yeah, they
Both
were
ways.
bad both ways. I'm glad Michigan marches on. They got to hold it down for the Big Ten.
Shawnee Brown.
I need the Big Ten to win a national championship. I'm definitely cheering for Michigan. A lot of Michigan fans think I'm trying to jinx them. A lot of they're saying you're an Ohio State guy. You're clearly not cheering for us. This is a bit. Not a bit. You guys, I'm polling for Michigan to win the title, and I have no doubt in my mind they're going to smoke Florida State in the Sweet 16. I watched Florida State play tonight. They just simply do not have the firepower to match up with Michigan. And the Big Ten has been a superior conference to the ACC all season. We proved that in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. There is a 0% chance. In fact, I would say, can we go lower than 0? That's what I'm giving Florida State in this Sweet 16 game. So, yeah, that's it.
So you're saying 100%.
100%.
That's what you're saying right now. Okay, that's a good point.
What else game-wise? What Andy Enfield also thanks CBS for picking Kansas to win because, quote, Andy Enfield coached teams that are very undisciplined.
This is a great topic of conversation. This is what is happening in the bubble. So the coaches that are getting, quote unquote, Rodney Dangerfield disrespected in this bubble. We saw with Eric Musselman,
Dude, it's not just coaches. Daryl Morcell was like calling people out. I think this is just.
It's a message to the doubters. That's all it is. It's a message to the doubters. And if you're Andy Enfield or if you're Eric Musselman, who was upset that, someone he said at CBS said that he wasn't a good enough coach to deal with Chris Beard. He handled that situation. Andy Enfield, apparently someone said that his team was undisciplined before the game. So he said basically we were pretty good for an undisciplined team. I like that the teams that are winning have to have a slight. Like I was saying about Gonzaga, saying about Michigan, you almost need a chip on your shoulder to want to stay. It's a war of attrition. And Andy Infield's trying to prove a point. Bill Self sitting there saying, "Oh shucks, I mean, we won the national championship last year. Let's get on out of here." Yeah. You know, and that's what I'm saying. If you have a chip on your shoulder, feel good about your team. They may want to muck it up. If not, it's going to be a long day.
It is definitely shock the world season.
Yes, it is. We are here on a mission.
Yeah.
We care. We want to sustain. We want to endure. You know what I mean? To put it in a Bane voice for John Rothstein, endure. That is what Gotham did. That is what you have to do in this tournament.
It's just like it's the whole premise. Like I get it. If you're in the infield, you have to, and muscle.
You have to do that.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like picking against a team doesn't mean we hate that team. It means this is an NCAA tournament.
It's bulletin board material.
I know, and it's hilarious.
You know what I mean?
They'll
it's
find anything, dude. They get all excited.
The best part is the person who aggregates and collects for them. That is my favorite person.
The best part is Virginia Tech and Michigan State both putting out videos of like suck it haters.
Yeah, and then being out, and it was gone.
Like immediately.
We should have put out a video in response to that. That would have been the answer. Next time.
We should make our own video of all the haters that come at us, and when they get proven wrong.
That would be too long.
But man, that is not.
That would be too long.
Yeah, and they're not getting proven wrong much right now.
Yeah.
Dude. This has been the haters have been teeing off on us, man.
I mean, not in my Eastern. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
When you don't write teams in, you write nicknames. You're like Mr. March.
No, Mr. March is a persona, and
dude,
like I said, taken by Mick Cronin.
For the Alabama Maryland game, you just put Muck. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. They should have mucked.
That doesn't make any sense.
If only I had known Bama was going to buck, and that would have made a different thing.
Is that it? Is there any other games we got to talk about? I mean, Creighton, Ohio, we glossed over. I got to be honest, I didn't want to watch this because I knew what was coming, and I knew it was going to break my heart. Other games going on.
I used the theory last night. I told you Creighton was going to win this game.
Jeff Bowles cried in his post game speech to his team. You could tell he was broken up. Team meant a lot to him. He came up. I think did he mention us? I actually couldn't get it through all the whole speech. Was he like, I can't believe I did that damn show?
Yeah, no, I think he was shaking his fist. You know what I mean?
That's why he was crying. He was like, damn it.
Yes. Why did I go back and hang out with Titus? I don't know. What is going on?
First Sweet 16 for Creighton since 1974. That's something. So Creighton's had a good run here as of late. The Greg McDermott era has certainly caught our attention. Doug McDermott was National Player of the Year. They've won a lot of games, but
it's been good for the FBI schools.
Kind of has.
You know?
Should Auburn and Arizona play this tournament? They shouldn't have sat out.
They,
if I'm Sean Miller, I'm like, why the hell did we sit this out?
If I'm Sharif Cooper, I'm looking at Bruce Pro, and I'm like, we probably would have made the Final Four.
Yeah, what were we thinking?
Yeah.
Sean Miller's got to be looking at all these other Pac-12 teams like, dude, this could be us.
Meanwhile, Xavier still waiting for someone to play them. Please play us.
Throw Arizona, Auburn, Belmont, Xavier.
What? Yeah. How's Coach Titus doing with Belmont? Where are they at right now? Is he checking classes yet in Nashville?
Belmont women, I think, beat Gonzaga tonight, so I'm sure he's going to use that as like a. Next time we talk to him, I'm sure he's going to have that as like a.
Yeah.
The men would have done the same.
Yeah,
Belmont
feather in a cap. It's usually 1-1. I mean, North Carolina women's team lost tonight.
Yeah, Anthony's pointing out here, by the way, the highlight of the weekend is the Must Bus survive. We didn't want to bring it up. I'm glad Anthony mentioned it.
Thank you, Anthony.
Because the one guy who has survived so far is Eric Musselman, and we didn't want to acknowledge that because we felt like it would add to, we would then curse him, and so we didn't acknowledge it. Anthony did, so I think we're off the hook.
And we did reach out to Oral Roberts. We should say, Luis. Yeah. Luis reached out to them. The goal now is to talk to everybody.
In the interest of fairness, we're trying to talk to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not trying to take shots here, and we're not trying to take teams out.
We're definitely not.
As I watched Iowa today, I was secretly pulling for Iowa. I like them as a team, and as I'm watching it happen, I'm like, man. This is what it is.
Yeah, can we talk about Iowa a little bit more?
Yeah, let's talk about Garza.
Specifically Luka Garza. I guess we kind of glossed over the end of his career.
Yeah,
he was getting up at the end. There's this message to. I'm not going to read it all. You guys can read it.
But what is the last thing he said? Now it's time to prove more doubters wrong.
Yeah.
Again, this is a message to the doubters. This is that type of season. And Luka Garza, he deserved more to be such a star in college basketball. Last year ends with no tournament. This year is a COVID-restricted season. There's no time to celebrate wins. Dude. There's no time to be the best player in the country in Ames, Iowa, or not Ames, but to walk around and be that guy and just be the star. Be Luka Garza. Be be everyone's guy. And
Yeah.
he got none of that. And now he has to go back into the pro ranks and, again, have to prove doubters wrong again.
He's back at square one.
Yes.
Yeah, and it
I hate to
sucks.
see that.
It really sucks. His legacy, he will be unfairly viewed.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Like, who really cares about legacies in college basketball? You know, like,
But in
at the same
Iowa,
time,
he is going to be viewed as the greatest Iowa basketball
sure,
player we've seen.
yeah,
And that is
rightfully
cool.
so.
Yes.
I think for a lot of people, though, if you are someone who does look at legacies, you'll say Luka Garza never made a Sweet 16. Did he? They never made a Sweet 16.
No.
He never had the Final Four run. Like, if he was really that good, I threw out the question earlier in the season. Luka Garza, Frank Kaminsky, who was the more memorable? Whose legacy is going to be better in terms of Big Ten big men? And because Luka Garza certainly has the stats, he's been dominant in ways that Kaminsky was awesome. They're both going to win National Player of the Year. Garza maybe should have won back to back. We liked Obi Toppin as everyone knows, but whatever. But Kaminsky always had the two Final Fours. He had the national title appearance where they had Duke on the ropes and let it slip away. But Kaminsky had that. He had the team success that Garza never had. And so now is Garza going to be unfairly – I think the answer is going to be yes.
I think Garza's going to get the Adam Morrison treatment, which
Yeah.
is the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I remember him being upset after they lost. I remember the upset more so than I remember the success, which is unfortunately the
because
world.
he was awesome.
Yeah,
And given the circumstance, we're going to people are going to completely forget that there wasn't a tournament in his junior season. Who
Exactly.
knows? If Iowa goes to the Elite Eight last year, maybe they go on a Final Four run. Probably not likely, given that they didn't play great defense last year. But if it happens, maybe we look at it all differently. I don't know. Just wanted to point that out. Luka Garza is. I very much was a Luka Garza fan in the sense of I think he got boring to a lot of people. I think his style.
he
of
was
play,
so good that we basically devalued how great he was. So.
His highlight reel is not jaw dropping.
Not sexy.
It's not sexy.
No.
But I think he was legitimately good. I think if you watch him play, you might trick yourself into believing this guy's not even good. He's just kind of throwing his body around and he's lucky. Quote. I don't know. You know, there are guys that do that.
I mean, Luka
you
Garza,
arrive at that
if
point.
you actually watch the way he plays as a big, it's so sound. You know what I mean? He does so many great things that you need to do as a big, whether it be angles, rebounding, things like that are just things you teach. And he's also a guy that does the mic and drill every day. You know, he's the throwback in that sense.
And he added stuff to his game, dude.
Yes.
He added
The three-point
shot. He could step out and hit threes, and I don't know. So he was awesome. But
we just
anyway.
wanted to give him his due. We didn't feel like he got it.
Shout out to
this year.
Luka. We're sorry we cursed you.
Yes, apologies.
We really
Luka.
didn't mean.
We love
didn't
you.
really mean
we
for it
love
to go
you.
that way. Is that it? Should we do? Big picture wrap ups? Should we talk about things? What is it from the weekend? We waited 2 years for this, Tate.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have a tournament this year. We waited for the whole gamut of these first 4 days. What is memorable? What sticks out? What is it that about these first 4 days that you're going to remember?
It's chaos, and I think this entire tournament, Moses told us it was going to be chaos, and as we have watched the casual fans that have not been keeping up with college basketball, they love it. My roommates, they're like, this is one of the best tournaments I've seen. Meanwhile, they see my frustration. They're like, why are you so upset? I'm like,
the haters.
I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I've been watching these teams. This is not the Oregon team that I saw, for most of the year. And, it goes ipso facto, so you can do the whole thing with any of these iterations of these teams. But regardless, I think it's been a lot of fun. And I think, you pull yourself back from this and you just say, man, this is what the tournament's about at some level. It's about it's one game, one moment, one opportunity, one shining moment. And we've seen that a lot. And then just from our vantage point this season, the two best teams are Gonzaga and Baylor. And they're still standing.
Yeah.
And as much as we're getting lost in the muck, I am lost in the muck. But these two are still there.
Don't sleep on Michigan. Don't sleep on Michigan. I know Isaiah Livers. Everyone wanted to doubt. I think Michigan is every bit as good now as they were when Isaiah. No disrespect to Isaiah Livers, but at the same time, I think they're every bit as good, even without Isaiah Livers. So do not sleep. It is Gonzaga Baylor. I'll give you that. But Michigan's right there.
Yep.
And I think we gotta acknowledge that. But I'm with you. I actually like the chaos. I think under most circumstances, it can be frustrating because it is a little. It almost devalues the regular season to us. We watch from the start, from the opening night.
Yeah,
we're into it.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
The reason we believed in Ohio is because we saw them play Illinois in November.
Right.
Yes.
And so we're watching all year round. We're forming our opinions based on what we've seen all year. Where we've watched the ups and downs of teams, and we're like, this is where it's all leading to this moment in time. And then all that data that we've collected in our brains just gets thrown out the window because Oregon State decided to show up and just be unstoppable.
Or Brad Davison has 29 and 6.
29 points.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes frustrating for us. This year,
But it's
I've
college
let it
basketball,
go.
yeah.
But I'm saying this year I've let it go.
It's a beauty.
When it happened, when it's happened before, I've been a little frustrated. This year, I'm not even a little frustrated. Like once Ohio State lost, I was like, screw it, chaos. Give me chaos.
Yeah,
More
everywhere.
chaos.
Yes,
Screw
yes.
it. I don't care.
And Porter Moser, I would say, is one of the coaches that, I mean, the 2018 season felt like a George Mason. Loyola does this one time, this one moment in time. We remember, we pointed out. I will say, I have been very impressed with Loyola Chicago.
They're not a Cinderella. They're
a legit
good,
program, and Porter's a legit coach. And, you can take notes from the climb, the ascension of a Gonzaga, and Loyola could do something like that. You know what I mean? You start setting that precedent.
I had a guy reach out to me. He's like, Loyola proved that they were very clearly better than Illinois. How did you miss this? How did you miss that Oregon State was very clearly better than Oklahoma State? And it just had a whole tone of like, if it were me, I would have simply had a perfect bracket.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Even though no one in America, right, has a perfect bracket, but the haters do.
I simply would have picked all of the winners if I were you.
Yes.
How do you get paid to do this?
How?
What about nah, screw that. Who cares? We talked about it enough. Should we wrap it up? Do we have shout outs? Do we want to talk about anything else?
I do have some shout outs if you will indulge me. My first one is Coach Pitino, who we did lose the first round of this tournament, but he put out a great quote today, Titus. I don't know if you saw
died?
this. No.
Oh no, we lost him.
Yeah, no. Well, Kentucky lost him as a candidate for their head coaching job because he put out to the world, if Coach Cal went to the pros today and Kentucky respectfully called me, I would say that's the greatest honor in the world, but I'm very happy I'm staying at Iona. Yeah. And Coach Pitino, he is safe, he is secure.
He's found his dream job.
He's found his Camelot, as they say. Finally.
Camelot
King
2.0.
Arthur is home.
Kevin's highlights when Purdue forced overtime and gave me one last moment of hope.
Same, Kevin.
Yeah. I really did. Like when they went to overtime, I was like, yeah. Same with Ohio State. When they both forced overtime, I was like, yeah.
That was kind of the theme of the first round, right? There was a lot of games where you're like, okay, we made it. We got here. We got to overtime. We're going to be okay. Let's settle down and win this thing. And it's gone.
Yeah. Other things I'm going to remember, obviously the Pac-12 being awesome. I felt like this year the conference talk was just ramped up to the extreme, and rightfully so. But it happens every year. It's
more than it needs to be this year.
Where people start forming conference, narratives based on the first couple rounds. It happens every single year. But this year it went to the extreme, probably because the Pac-12 was awesome, and the Big Ten sucked. And
yes.
The Big Ten was being lauded as like, is this as good as 2011 Big East, when the Big East was a juggernaut? And the Big Ten said, yes, we are. And then they got to the NCAA tournament, and as it turns out, the answer is no. So I'll remember that. I'll remember.
Or 2016 ACC,
What?
I think they had 10 teams in the tournament.
Nobody remembers that.
Yeah, I do.
Who won the title that year, though?
Jenkins, where are you? Chris.
I'm going to remember the from this weekend is the free. Yeah, free.
That was great.
I remember that commercial. I remember
Lily and the
the Groves brothers. Shout out to Devin.
Yeah, they were great.
The Groves brothers going off. I remember them. There's that.
Shout out to the Mean Green, North Texas with the big upset. I mean, Oral Roberts, too. I mean, in general, they put themselves on the map. Abilene Christian.
It's not over yet, man. Like, I think Oral Roberts.
What is for Abilene? But yeah, Oral Roberts still has a chance. Yeah. I mean, Must Bus, I hope that Must Bus does not meet his maker in this game. I hope the curse does not come calling.
Yeah. We're going to try to, Arkansas fans, we promise, we're reaching out with requests. We're trying to get some Oral Roberts guys. We're trying to get Ober Naismith on the show for you to counterbalance the Must curse. So
I think any Oral Roberts fan right now, if they were smart, they're like, do not answer.
Do not answer.
Yes.
Throw your phone in the river.
Please.
Any other shout-outs?
Yeah, I mean, I did want to shout out, we shout out Luka, shout out Patino. I want you, I have to bring this up. North Carolina, the program was in free fall today, and, I have no comment.
Yeah, if you missed it, Tate got his Brad Stevens is not going to IU twist of the knife.
Yeah,
by
never
every
in my
single
life have I ever woken up.
Every single player in North Carolina is leaving. Shouldn't that be good though? You guys sucked. Shouldn't that be good to clear them all out and get new guys?
The wrong guys are leaving. The wrong guys, and they're going to Gonzaga. How Mark Few? In fact, I'm at the point where now my Brad Stevens is Mark Few. No, I'm like I know Coach Roy Williams, and he is a champion, 3-time champion. He's gonna figure it out. It's gonna be okay. I am not pressing the panic button. but I'm a little perturbed. I will say that. That's the word. I'm verklempt. I don't have any words. I'm shook. So the haters are winning.
The big one's Walker Kessler.
Yes, Walker Kessler. You brought it up before. Chet Holmgren, Walker Kessler. That's what the haters are coming at me with. Yeah.
I want to shout out my former coach Thad Mata.
Love you, Coach Williams. Regardless, I will say that 3-time national champion. No blame there. No blame there.
I want to shout out my former coach Thad Mata, who got his name in the news for like an hour and a half tonight. Because a report comes out that he had agreed to terms with Indiana University to be the new coach, but then the deal fell through because he failed a physical, which got the internet a buzz because they were like, coaches have to take physicals? How the hell is Bob Huggins?
That was the first thing I said to you. I was like, wow, I got to see these physicals.
How was Coach K a coach? Like, that guy's like half metal, all the surgeries he's had. If you have to pass physicals, like, what is the physical? Like, he did the sit and reach and he couldn't touch his toes?
Yeah.
So that was it?
You have to run a mile under 8 minutes.
He ran an 8:30 mile.
Sorry, Coach, not this year. Shire, you're the coach. That would be cool if they did that. Think about how different sports would be.
If coaches had to run an 8-minute mile. Who would be the best team in the country if coaches? I mean, Arkansas would still be good because Musselman would just like
Musselman's probably running 8 miles a day.
He's going nuts. Yeah,
Arkansas.
Let's look at the
Juwan Howard.
Let's end the show with going through coach by coach in the Sweet 16, and you tell me, could they run an 8-minute mile?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mark Few.
Yes.
I'll say yes. Greg McDermott.
No.
Absolutely not. Andy Enfield.
Yes.
Probably, yeah. Dana Altman.
Yes.
Juwan Howard.
Yes.
Dana Altman, I'm going to say Juwan Howard, I'm saying yes. Leonard Hamilton.
Yes.
No, he's too
No,
old.
he can say yes. Coach Ham. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Coach.
Mick Cronin.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. But it's like 7:59. And in fact, we clock it at 8:01 and he headbutts us because he's like, it was 7:59. I feel
Mick Cronin strikes me as a guy that do a couple shots of whiskey before he has to run it. He's like, we're like ready, set, and he's like, hang on.
Yeah.
Go. And then he takes off running.
Still under 8 minutes. Competitor.
Nate Oates.
Under. Yep.
I think he's under.
Yep.
Scott Drew. Is Scott Drew a good marathon? Is Scott Drew a good mile runner?
I think he's got endurance but not speed, so I'm going to say under 8 minutes. I think he can endure.
I think he's a good marathon runner, not a good.
Yep.
No,
right.
I say no.
Jay Wright, yes.
Jay Wright, I'll say yes. Musselman, 100% yes. Who's Oral Roberts' coach? I don't know. No respect. Porter Moser, no.
Yeah.
Wayne,
I want us to get to Boeheim. Can we just do Boeheim?
Wayne Tinkle's definitely not. He's a big boy.
I think Wayne Tinkle is, I think he's over. But I think he's also like cool about it. He's just not going to do this.
Boeheim won't even attempt it.
Yeah.
Boeheim sits in his chair.
Boeheim says, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I will not do this. And then basically talks to the media about it. He's talking to the media while they're running, right?
Yes.
Right behind him. He's doing an interview. He's like, this is absolutely ridiculous. You guys are all idiots. What is this? And everyone else is doing it.
And then he turns to his SID and points to the guy with the stopwatch. He's like, have him fired.
Yeah, he's like, get him out of here.
That's Boeheim. And then Kelvin Sampson. I don't think Kelvin Sampson anymore. I think
he shows us the stopwatch and it says 7:57, and we all go, Coach.
Coach, come on.
Coach.
We all saw what happened there, Coach.
That was fun.
All right, is that it? Shout out to the haters. You got in our heads this week.
Yeah.
You always do. It's been 2 years, you know. It's been 2 years since we had a tournament, since we realized how stupid we are.
Shout out to Paul Mills. I think he can run it under 8. That's the coach of Oral Roberts. Shout out to Paul Mills. There you go.
So disrespectful.
Honestly, I blinked on it. Honestly,
apologies to Arkansas fans, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting Oral Roberts people on the show.
Yeah, I think we're out.
I think we just blew it.
Yeah, then they just said, "What were they doing? Under 8-minute mile?"
And they didn't know our coach's name.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. It's been a long weekend.
Yeah. Shout out to the haters, though. I was gonna say all the red X's. It's been 2 years since you guys have got to throw that back in our face. So
it's been a lot of fun. We got a little bit of a break, but we'll be back. Wednesday. We're gonna do
highlight
a Sweet 16
is
preview.
Definitely Sister Jean refusing to lose on a Sunday. That's a good point. Another thing I remember, I really thought today was Sunday. It really threw me off that today was Monday.
Yeah.
We pulled into the lot. There were a ton of cars, a lot of people at work. And
I almost texted you. I was like,
what
why
the
are people working on Sunday? What's going on?
What's going on?
Is football
Monday.
back already?
And the games start on, it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Next time.
The Sweet 16.
The Sweet 16 Elite Eight games. I don't know. We'll have to adjust, adversity. Just like all the players, just like the Big Ten had to do, and that's why they got their
No,
ass
we have
kicked.
to endure.
We have to endure.
That is it. That is the term.
We'll endure. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Yes. We love you. It's been a fun 4 days. We are not going anywhere for this tournament. We'll be back right here on Saturday. God bless you all.
Thank you.
See you Saturday.
Good luck, Lady Jean.